Dear learners, today's MOOC will be on the unit Code of Ethics from Module 8, Understanding Social Work Practices. Let's begin with the introduction. The practice of social work is governed by ethical guidelines that specify the social worker's professional obligations. The primary objective of the Code of Ethics is to make these implicit principles explicit for the protection of client and other members of society. The Code of Ethics was first developed by National Association of Social Workers. The code includes 4 sections. The first section is the preamble. The second section is the purpose of the National Association of Social Workers Code of Ethics. The third section is ethical principles, and the final section is ethical standards. Now, let us discuss all these 4 sections in brief details. First, the preamble. The primary mission of the social work profession is to enhance human well-being and to help meet the basic human needs of all people, with particular attention to the needs and empowerment of people who are vulnerable, oppressed, and living in poverty. A set of guiding principles serves as the foundation for the profession of social work. The foundation of social work's distinctive purpose and viewpoint is the following key ideals, which have been upheld by the social workers throughout the profession of history. Now let us look at these key ideals. Service, social justice, dignity and worth of the person, importance of human relationships, integrity, competence. This collection of core values reflect what is unique to the field of social work profession. Next is the purpose of National Association of Social Work Code of Ethics. Now, we will discuss the purpose of the National Association of Social Workers Code of Ethics. The NASW Code of Ethics serves the following purposes. The code identifies core values on which social work's mission is based. Next, the code summarizes broad ethical principles that reflect the profession's core values and establishes a set of specific ethical standards that should be used to guide social work practice. The code is designed to help social workers identify relevant considerations when professional obligations conflict or ethical uncertainties arise. Next, the code provides ethical standards to which the general public can hold the social work profession accountable. The code socializes practitioners new to the field to social work mission, values, ethical principles, and ethical standards. Next, the code articulates standards that the social work profession itself can use to assess whether social workers have engaged in unethical conduct. NASW has formal procedures to adjudicate ethics complaints filed against its members. Next, the code offers a set of values, principles, and standards to guide decision-making and conduct when ethical issues arise. Now we are going to discuss about the ethical principles. The essential ideals of social work, service, social justice, respect for individual, value of interpersonal connections, integrity and competence are the foundation for the wide ethical guidelines that follow. Following are some values and ethical principles associated with them. Value, service. Ethical principle, social workers' primary goal is to help people in need and to address social problems. Value, social justice. Ethical principle, social workers challenge social injustice. Value, dignity and worth of the person. Ethical principle, social workers respect the inherent dignity and worth of the person. Value, Importance of human relationships. Ethical principle, social workers recognize the central importance of human relationships. Value, integrity. Ethical principle, social workers behave in a trustworthy manner. Value, competence. Ethical principle, social workers practice within their areas of competence and develop and enhance their professional expertise. Now we will discuss about the ethical standards. The following ethical standards are relevant to the professional activities of all social workers. These standards concern: number 1, social workers' ethical responsibilities to clients. Number 2, social workers' ethical responsibilities to colleagues. Number 3, social workers' ethical responsibilities in practice settings. Number 4, social workers' ethical responsibilities as professionals. Number 5, social workers' ethical responsibilities to the social work profession. And lastly, number 6, social workers' ethical responsibilities to the broader society. We will discuss each one in brief detail. Social workers' ethical responsibilities to clients include commitment to clients, self-determination, informed consent, competence, cultural competence and social diversity, keeping themselves away from conflict of interests, maintaining privacy and confidentiality, providing clients with reasonable access to records concerning them, keeping themselves away from any kind of sexual contact or relation with the clients, preventing themselves from any kind of physical contact with their client. They must not sexually harass them or use derogatory language. The workers must decide a fair and just fee for the clients, must act on behalf of the clients who lack the capacity to make informed decisions, must make reasonable efforts to ensure continuity of the services, and also should terminate services to clients and professional relationships with them when such services and relationships are no longer required or no longer serve the interests of the clients. Social workers' ethical responsibilities towards colleagues include respect, confidentiality of shared information, interdisciplinary cooperation, not taking advantage of disputes involving colleagues and the employee, seeking advice and counsel from the colleagues, avoidance of any kind of sexual relationship with colleagues and the supervisors, must not sexually harass colleagues, must help a fellow colleague who might be suffering from personal problems, psychosocial distress, substance abuse, or mental health difficulties. Consultation with the colleague in case of incompetence and taking up adequate measures involving unethical conduct by the colleagues. Social workers' ethical responsibilities in practice settings include supervision and consultation, provision of education and training, performance evaluation of clients, maintaining client records, maintaining billing practices that accurately reflect the nature and extent of services provided and that identify who provided the service in the practice setting, smooth and careful client transfer, social work administrators' effort to allocate necessary resources for the benefit of the clients and adherence to NASW codes of ethics, provision of reasonable steps for continuing education and staff development for all staff for whom they are responsible, commitment to the employers and formation of labor unions as a mechanism to solve labor management disputes. Social workers' ethical responsibilities as professionals include competence, avoidance of any kind of discrimination based on the basis of race, ethnicity, national origin, color, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, age, marital status, political belief, religion, immigration status, or mental or physical disability, not permitting their private conduct to interfere with their ability to fulfill their professional responsibilities, not participating in, condoning, or associating with dishonesty, fraud, or deception, should not allow their own personal problems, psychosocial distress, legal problems, substance abuse, or mental health difficulties to interfere with their professional judgment, making clear distinction between statements made and actions engaged in as a private individual and as a representative of the social work profession, not engaging in uninvited solicitation of potential clients, taking responsibility and credit as well as acknowledging the work of and the contributions made by others. Social workers' ethical responsibilities to the social work profession include maintaining integration of the profession, monitoring, evaluating, and implementing policies, and promoting and facilitating evaluation and research to contribute to the development of knowledge. Social workers' ethical responsibilities to the broader society include promoting the general welfare of society from local to global levels and the development of people, their communities, and their environments. Social workers should advocate for living conditions conducive to the fulfillment of basic human needs and should promote social, economic, political, and cultural values and institutions that are compatible with the realization of social justice, facilitating informed participation by the public in shaping social policies and institutions, providing appropriate professional services in public emergencies to the greatest extent possible, engaging in social and political action that seeks to ensure that all people have equal access to resource, employment, services, and opportunities they require to meet their basic human needs and to develop fully. Now we will discuss the next topic, which is marginalization of vulnerable groups. Marginalization is a complex as well as a shifting phenomena linked to social status. Throughout the world, millions of individuals are impacted by this event. The amount of control marginalized people have over their life and resources at their disposal is relatively low. The area of marginality include personal, collective, education, economic, health, cultural, and ecological. Personal dimensions include inadequate food consumption, lack of employment, poor housing and other facilities, oppression, etc. The collective dimensions are leadership imposed from outside, conflict among themselves, lack of resistance to discrimination, etc. Economic dimensions of marginalization include lack of equitable access to land and other natural resources, poor wages for labor and not getting access to subsidized public input. Political dimension of marginalization are lack of representation and a political system which does not favor the interests of the marginalized section of the society. Educational dimensions include lack of equal opportunity for education, inadequate reservation and lack of financial support for continuing higher education. Health dimensions of marginalization are lack of health facilities and inaccessibility of the people to decision making related to health. Other areas of marginalization are lack of community facilities and ecological imbalances due to deterioration of land, water, air, and other natural resources. Most vulnerable marginalized groups in almost every society constitutes number 1, women. One of the effects of gender inequality is marginalization, which takes diverse forms depending on the economic environment as well as under the impact of particular historical, cultural, legal, and religious elements. Due to their gendered vulnerabilities as well as their membership in a certain caste, class, or ethnic group, women experience double prejudice. Number 2, children. In human society, children are a particularly vulnerable group. Due to their fragile state of growth, they require extra protection. They experience prejudice based on caste, religion, and ethnicity. Number 3, scheduled caste. Caste in Indian society is a particular form of social inequality that involves a hierarchy of groups ranked in terms of ritual purity. Structural discrimination against these groups takes place in the form of physical, psychological, emotional, and cultural abuse, which receives legitimacy from the social structure and the social system. Number 4, scheduled tribes. The scheduled tribes are a product of marginalization based on ethnicity. They are considered to be socially and economically disadvantaged. Number 5, older adults. The vulnerability among the elderly is not only due to an increased incidence of illness and disability, but also due to their economic dependency upon their family members. Number 6, minority. Minority is most commonly used to refer to the communities that are numerically small in relation to the rest of the population. Minorities include issues of power, access to resources, and has cultural and social dimension. Number 7, people with disabilities. People with disabilities have had to battle against centuries of biased assumptions, harmful stereotypes, and irrational fears. Now we will discuss about a few limitations of professional social work. Social work has developed through time from unpaid aid to a job and a respected profession. However, there are several restrictions on the profession. Number 1, its methodology is first and foremost based on Western theoretical foundations. When such a theoretical foundation lacks cultural roots in its application, it can have an impact on the aiding process. Number 2, the majority of the already available information is problem related rather than practice related, because it is based solely on theoretical comprehension of the problems. This can be viewed as a disadvantage for the profession as it now exists in India. The scope of social work's specialized knowledge is relatively constrained. There have been few attempts to create comprehensive empirical information about typical issues, circumstances, and solutions, however. Number 4, the absence of an accreditation procedure hurts the professional social work, which in turn makes it harder to gain community respect. Anyone can call themselves a social worker in the absence of a licensing mechanism. Number 5, when it comes to professional culture, standards governing how they should be expressed in behavior with customers and symbols have not emerged, despite the fact that profession has formed its own views about the values of its own professional service. All of this places significant restrictions on society's ability to distinguish between professionals, non-professionals, and volunteer labor. Now we will discuss about few professional social workers association in India and abroad. The professional bodies of social workers that functions at the international level are the National Association of Social Workers, NASW. It is a professional organization of social workers in the United States. It has about 132,000 members. It is committed to helping social workers meet their professional development needs. The association developed and adopted NASW Code of Ethics and other generalized and specialized practice standards. Further, the association is concerned with Number 1, laying down and maintaining proper standards in professional social work education and promoting the profession on scientific lines. Number 2, providing opportunity to faculty members to meet and exchange their ideas. Number 3, arranging seminars and refresher courses for faculty members. Number 4, encouraging and coordinating researches and promoting publication of literature on different subjects relating to social work. Number 5, disseminating information pertaining to social work education. And number 6, working as a national forum for all matters concerning social work education. The next one is International Council on Social Welfare, ICSW. International Council on Social Welfare was founded in Paris in 1928 under the original name of International Conference of Social Work. The main aim of ICSW is to advance social welfare, social justice, and social development. Further, it gains and disseminates information, undertakes research and analysis, convenes seminars and conferences, draws on grassroots expertise, strengthens non-governmental organizations, develop policy proposals, engage in public advocacy, and work with policymakers and administrators in government and elsewhere. Third, International Association of Schools of Social Work, IASSW, an international organization of educational institutes for social workers, is the International Association of Schools of Social Work. It is a group that aids in the development of social work instructors. It upholds all human rights declarations and conventions made by United Nations, and it promotes excellence in social work education, research, and scholarship on a global scale in order to improve human well-being. Respect for inalienable human rights is the cornerstone of freedom, justice, and peace, and it adheres to all such declarations and conventions. International Federation of Social Work, IFSW. International Federation of Social Work is an international non-governmental organization of national associations of social work. The Federation works for social justice, human rights, and social development through promotion of social work, best practice models, and facilitation of international cooperation. Now we will look into some of the Indian social work associations. Now we will look into such bodies of social work in context of India. Association of Schools of Social Work in India. It was established in 1959 at Baroda. It is a professional organization engaged in the promotion of standards of social work education in the country. It has represented the profession by taking up social issues and concerns related to social work education at the national level since the early 60s. Next, the Indian Society of Professional Social Work. It is the oldest association of professional social workers in India. It has been geared towards the goal of empowering society for social development. The association primarily focuses on uniting the professional and social workers to debate, discuss, and develop conceptual frameworks and feasible indigenous interventions of social work for practice in India. The Society regularly identifies and felicitates esteemed personalities from the social work and its related fields. Next, National Association of Professional Social Workers in India. It is a non-profit, non-political, national-level organization dedicated to the promotion of standard and status of social work profession in India. The National Association comprises social work institutions, schools and departments, educators, practitioners as well as students from every state in the country. It intends to fulfill the twin purpose of promoting the social work profession across the country with the aim of improving the quality of services in the social welfare and social development sectors on one hand, and to protect interests of social work professionals on the other hand. Now, let us sum up what we have discussed so far. We began with a brief introduction of today's topic, that is Code of Ethics and its 4 sections, namely the preamble, purpose of the NASW Code of Ethics, ethical principles and ethical standards. Then we discussed about marginalization of vulnerable groups, followed by limitations of social work and professional social workers associations in abroad and India. With that, we have come to the end of today's unit. Thank you.